Hello and welcome to the show. I'm David Dickinson and this is The Real Deal. Now today, the location brings back great memories to me. We're in Blackpool. It really is fantastic.
On today's theatrical show...
A horse, my kingdom for a horse.
Most people come to Blackpool to see the donkeys.
Our sellers hope Faye's feeling flush.
I need to pay off my mortgage, skiing lessons and a new car with the money.
Crikey, I don't think you're going to like me very much in a minute.
I think I'd go on a world cruise.
Expecting an awful lot
Round
of money.
Salford with the money you give me. Yeah.
But those other dealers are being really mean.
If I can't sell them at the end of the day, they would make great hardcore for my driveway.
You're not going to see many of them on the streets.
No, exactly. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, David's always helpful. He's older than me.
Good morning and welcome to The Real Deal.
With the doors barely open, excitement's high in the den already. The Duke's working the crowd.
I thought...
The dealers are fired up. And first up for Faye Rotter is...
Hayley, lovely to meet you.
I've got a lump of wood.
Is it a doorstop? Is it I don't know what it is. It's some sort of wooden carving.
Wherever did you get it, Hayley?
I found it in the attic of a house I bought and it was kind of squashed up in a corner, just sort of staring at me. I kind of like it, but find it a little bit spooky as well.
So, you want it in someone else's attic?
But to a nice home, with respect.
Well, Faye?
I have no thoughts on it, apart from how many hours would it burn in my stove for? What on earth have you bought here today?
So she's a African. Is she African? I don't know. She's a carved figure.
Okay, yeah.
Found in the attic of a renovation project. The roof was sort of off the building. It was all, damp and pouring through. And she was kind of staring out of a corner. Oh. So I know, and we hadn't got much light in there, so it was quite spooky. So we brought her down and popped her at the top of the stairs. And she moved, she rolled.
You're having a laugh.
I think she was trying to leg me up down the stairs. And...
She's laughing at you now.
No. And as I was bringing her here today in a carrier bag, she kept banging my shins. Oh. So I think she was trying to get out.
That wasn't you just swinging your carrier bag in?
No. So I said to her, you're going in the sea or you're coming here.
Oh my God. I daren't say what I was going to say initially. I thought, that's an interesting figure. I wonder how long that would burn for in my stove. No, don't mean that. I would never. I wouldn't do that really. She's quite nicely carved.
There's something
about it.
Yeah, it would be a shame to burn her.
Oh God, it would be a shame to throw her in the sea. So hard to date exactly.
Yeah.
But I would imagine she's going to be sort of 1950s, 1960s. Yeah. It looks to me like it's been a touristy piece. Have you seen any signatures or anything on it?
No, I haven't, no. And I didn't dare clean her.
She looks nice and clean, actually. She's all right. She needs just a bit of a wax up and a bit of love and a new home.
Yes.
So why did you bring it along today?
Well, she legged me up down the stairs. I mean,
Fair enough. And you saw we were in town and thought, right, come on. What will you do? Buy yourself an ice cream with the money I'm going to put down.
Ice cream, pay off my mortgage and go on holiday. I need a new car and...
You need to go to Africa and bring back more wood carvings, don't you? Crikey, I don't think you're going to like me very much in a minute. Come on, let's get some money down. Right, I've got to start somewhere, so... Come on, there's a tenner.
Her self-esteem might be lowered by that offer.
Do you think it might be bad luck?
She might hear. She might be like, oh
gosh, sorry lady, I'm going to put another £5. We've got £15, but really and truly, you kind of got my offer there, love. Look,
what
she looks quite pleased.
Will you look after her?
I will look after her while I own her. And I would find her another home and somebody that would love her.
Is she worth another £5 or not? No.
I'm so sorry, not to me.
Yeah.
What do you think she's worth?
So she's been valued at 20 to 30 pounds.
Is she?
Yeah.
The valuers might have said 20 to 30 pounds, but to me, she's worth 15 to 20 pounds. 15 pounds is what I want to pay for her, and 20 pounds is what I would like to sell her for. So, are you going to accept my offer?
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. But if she says something to you on the way home or rolls off the parcel shelf and clonks you on...
If she does that on the way home or says anything to me on the way home, I'm going to find out where you live. I'm going to bring her around to your house. I'm going to put her back in your roof. Well, thank you for bringing her along. Thank you so much, Hayley. Thank you.
Well, you've found her a new home, Hayley.
Hope she keeps out of mischief and doesn't leg anyone up down the stairs.
You worried about that, Faye?
She's not going to haunt me. There's no way.
She might if you can't sell her. Across the den, there's a menagerie of woodland creatures waiting for Henry Nichols. So is seller Matt.
I've bought 15 Beatrix Potter figures, paid £30 for them, hoping to get £100.
What will you spend it on?
I've got baby on the way in 4 weeks, so it will go on baby stuff.
Hi, I'm Henry.
I'm Matt, nice to meet you.
You too. These figures were once really good news, not so good now, but I'm still going to have a go at buying them. Maybe up towards 3 figures, but hopefully not that much. How have you come to have them in your possession?
I had a large collection. I bought them off the internet, and these are the last of what I had.
Right.
It's time to get rid of them.
Why are you getting rid of them?
I've got a baby on the way in 4 weeks' time.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Well played. Fantastic. Well, I've just become a grandpa.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm too young.
You are
Way too young. Thank you, thank you. That'll help in the deal, actually.
Thank you.
OK, Beatrix Potter. Everybody knows the stories of Peter Rabbit, Jemima Puddle Duck, you know, and even now, kids these days are still reading the Beatrix Potter books. The actual figures that we've got here are made by Beswick. Now, you can gauge the age of all these figures by what they call the back stamp.
Yeah.
So we've got the earliest one here, which is Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit has the gold back stamp.
Yep.
The first production ones, the word copyright was written in script.
Okay.
Whereas this one is written in capitals. The scripted one was from the late 40s to the mid 50s. This one was from the mid 50s through to the early 70s.
Okay.
He's still a good thing because he's got the gold back stamp. Sadly, his ears have been off, which absolutely kills the value. And it's such a shame because he's the best one out of all of the ones you've got here. But that's always the way. So you've got a baby on the way.
Yes.
And the money's going to go towards...
More baby stuff.
More baby stuff. Do you have thoughts on what sort of money you're hoping to get for these?
Yeah, I've got a figure in mind.
OK. Well, I mean, I'll get some money out, but do bear in mind that we have 3 that are damaged.
Yep.
And that really takes them out of the equation in total. So let's have a go, shall we?
Yep.
And I'll see if I can tempt you to part with them.
OK.
20, 40, 60 pounds.
Are you only after a couple then?
Am I close to where you want to be, or?
I think you got away, but let's see how you get on.
See how we get on.
Babies aren't cheap.
Oh, I know. 80 pounds.
I think you can do a bit better than that.
Tell you what I'll do, 85 quid. Do you want to see what David's got to say?
Yes, please. I'll see what David's got.
Here he is.
Now then, what's a young, tough chap like you doing with all these little bunnies?
Well, they're just nice to collect, aren't they?
Well, I have to say this, and I'm not making fun. No matter how highbrow you may think you are with your porcelain collectors, there are people who still go for these. I've got 100 to 150.
Okay.
There is 85 on the table.
There is.
That is basically the equivalent of £100 in the auction. I would say worth a little bit more.
Okay.
But you've got to give a chance to the deal. He's got to sell these things.
Yep.
And he might have to sell 1 or 2 here and there. There is an early one here, am I right?
There is, indeed, Peter Rabbit, but he is damaged.
Well, I think they're sellable. I think they're worth a little bit more. But the answer is try and balance it out that you get a bit more and he has a chance to sell them and make a profit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, David. For me, 85 quid is where I'm going to stick at. And David's got a point. You know, there are many collectors out there. It's just for me, I've got to then go out and find those collectors. But it's your shout at the end of the day. You might be able to do better at auction, but if you want to walk away with the cash now, the cash is on the table.
Would you stick another £5 down?
To be honest, Matt, I won't. 80 quid really was my ceiling bid. And if he wasn't damaged, I would have put over £100 on the table.
Right.
So it's your shout, young man.
I'll take the 85.
Sure?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
You happy, Matt?
Not quite the £100 I wanted, but it will do. £85.
Matt tried to push me a little bit more, but, you know, I was a fiver over my limit, really, so I'm happy.
Never going to pay 3 figures, were you, Henry?
That is true. I'm an antique dealer, pathological liar. They go hand in hand.
You said it. Coming up, Joe may be lost for words.
I think this time I am almost speechless. Do I want to own a fiberglass horse with a pretend suit of armour and a floppy unite?
But not that much.
One £50 note. I'll pop it on its saddle.
That means Joe doesn't really want to take this back in the Mini.
50 quid? You're having a laugh.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Blackpool. Over the years, we've seen all sorts come into the den, and not much surprises the team.
That really fits you.
But then, this beauty turned up.
Sugar lumps.
Suitable for a peer of the realm.
You won't be laughing when it stops at your table.
It looks like the armour didn't work. I think you're all bonkers.
What are you thinking, David? It's all yours, Joe.
I understand you're Colin.
Yes, that's
Pleased
correct.
to meet you, Colin. I'm Joe. And who's this?
Half of a duo called Sir Duke.
Sir Duke.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite
Named
appropriate.
after the one and only David Dickinson.
Okay. So we've got a knight.
That's Sir Duke.
Sir Duke. And what's the horse called?
Dobbin.
How do you come to have Dobbin and the Duke?
Well, my friend bought him in a local sales room in St Anne's.
How's his family life been since then?
His wife wasn't too happy.
There's a surprise.
And she said that he's not going back in the house.
Because he's a bit smelly, isn't he? Does your friend know anything about his history prior to him arriving in the auction?
Well, we know very little about it, apart from my friend got a note of authenticity for saying it was 1700s suit of armour, but that's all really they know about it.
In it, did it say 1700s style? Or did it say it was actually from the 1700s?
To be honest, I don't know. I have to say I haven't seen
See,
it.
that's the trouble with auctions. You have to be careful. When the word style is used within a description, and a lot of people do miss it if they're not seasoned auction catalogue readers. When it says style, it's telling you it's not right. It's not 1700s. You probably know that by now, don't you?
Yeah.
It's probably been made for a pub display or a theme park. The quality of the harness isn't good enough. I used to ride seriously when I was a young woman, and this is just play leather. It's not dressed. You would never put that anywhere near a horse.
No.
Right? You wouldn't put that on a horse's back. Ever. You couldn't have a lot of this on a horse, even in the 17th century. And if this was right, and this was, say, 1740, 1760, and it came up in auction in this country, it would cause interest across the world. Right. You know, you wouldn't be buying it in an auction for, I don't know what your pals bought it for, but for, we will assume, a few £100s. And the thing is, I don't know what you do with him. You know, he's a good giggle and he's very entertaining.
Then, like I say, you're not going to see many of them on the streets.
No, exactly. There's a reason.
Yeah.
And do I want to own a fiberglass horse with a pretend suit of armour and a floppy unite? So anyways, here comes my offer. You're not going to like it, Colin, but there it is. One £50 note. I'll pop it on its saddle.
No, he won't settle for that. I know a figure that he's looking for.
My offer's £50, that's where I see it. Maybe I should have offered more for him, but no, I'm sticking with my £50. Here comes David to give us some advice.
I think I'm almost tempted to do the Laurence Olivier. A horse, my kingdom for a horse. Well, we've got the horse, we've got the armour, we've even got the dethroned knight there, who is called the Duke. Well, probably...
Sir Duke.
Sir Duke. So probably this would be on some display in an arcade here in Blackpool, perhaps. What's it really worth? Is it a bit of old tat? Or is it something highly collectible? Now, what's Joe put down?
50 quid.
OK. Well, I think 50 quid is a no-brainer. That means Joe doesn't really want to take this back in the Mini. We got a 500 to 600 and 500 to 800. So it looks like it's going to have to go up to the auction, unless, Joe... Why, hey, man, maybe you're just playing...
I'm not playing hard to get. I really don't see a horse and armour in my life at the moment.
What will he bring in the auction? I have no idea, but you just never know in an auction. Right person, right two people who bid against each other, you just might find someone that has a need for a horse armour and a knight's armour. But it isn't me either.
Just out of curiosity, what did your pal pay for it?
About £1,000.
Did he? So it wasn't an absolute steal, was it?
Not really.
You've heard David's advice. What do you think?
I know the lowest figure that my friend would accept, and it's not nowhere near that, so we're going to go take it to auction.
Best of luck.
Okay,
Hope it gallops out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for phoning in.
50 quid? You're having a laugh.
It was a nay from me. My little pink £50 note is still intact in my pocket.
Well, here's how your pockets could be full of 50s.
We are giving away a bumper prize to just one viewer who enters the competition and wins. How much is it? £50,000. Now that's serious money. Someone has got to win it. Are you that person? You just might be.
This is week 2 of our 2-week prize draw that gives you a chance to win a whopping £50,000. Call 0906 8788 123. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Text WIN to 68123. Text cost £2 plus one standard network rate message. Or go to the website. Entries cost £2. Alternatively, post your name and phone number to DRD 0892 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close this Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. Over at the sale room, auctioneer Mark Anderson's holding out for a heroine.
I'd say that it's probably quite a difficult thing to sell. What we do is we advertise it, market it, and hopefully there'll be some maiden out there who wants a knight on horseback.
Well, who doesn't? Sadly, Colin can't make the sale, but the Duke's come to the rescue.
The reserve is set at £500. Here it is now.
Unusual lot being offered now. This is the full-size fiberglass armoured horse and mounted knight with bridlery. Interest begins online at £300. Where are we going to go then? 300 a bid I have. At 300, 320 and 40. At 340, 340. Come on, don't lose it for a bid. Every house should have one. £340 on my right. Are there any further calls?
It's on the internet. There's nothing in the room.
It's reached a hiatus at £340. Is there any...
That's it, I'm afraid.
Passing the lot then if there's no further interest.
No. OK, Gavla's gone down at £340. The offer of £50 from Joe Brayshaw, I can't call that the real deal. I'm going to say the real deal was here in the sale room or on the internet at £340. Nevertheless, it didn't sell because it didn't make its reserve. And in my opinion, it was just far too punchy.
Well, after the sale, an anonymous buyer strode in and whisked it away for the £500 reserve. That's what I call a fairy tale ending. After the break, Tracy's trinket teaser.
Now, what am I going to pay? That is the question.
Well, Elizabeth has the answer.
Oh no, we don't like that colour. Not unless it's a bigger one.
And is Henry wiser?
In this business, they say your first profit is your best profit, but you always have to take a loss sometimes.
Or miser?
35 quid, and I think that's where I'd want to stop.
At 35, it didn't show me a profit.
Ooh, that makes me look a bit mean.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from the Las Vegas of the North. Gee, we're in Blackpool, lad.
So far today, the people of Blackpool have done us proud. And next up, there's a table full of trinkets for our Tracy. Tell all, Elizabeth.
Today I brought along a selection of jewellery that belonged to my grandmother. As much as I love them, I feel like I can't wear them anymore because they're too small for me.
What will you take?
Well, as much as I'm offered.
What about a fiver?
No, not quite enough.
How about 100?
Higher.
200?
No, a little more.
300?
Oh, that sounds better.
I'm Tracy.
So, what are you going to pay, Tracy?
Now, what am I going to pay? That is the question.
Time for some answers, I think.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
Most of them, I believe, belong to my grandmother. She used to use this when she was dancing at the balls, and they used to carry them on the little finger, I believe, and write in who's the next partner for the next dance.
Really?
Or the next one after that, yes.
All right, so it's an aid
and they're
memoir.
called an aid memoir, yes. And I believe these are my grandma's, and that's a Scottish agate, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is an agate.
A citron brooch,
Okay.
and the little rings. Most of them, I think, were my grandma's.
Why are you wanting to part with them?
Well, unfortunately, I've got slightly larger fingers than we used to have.
Well, you're quite right. That's called an aid memoir.
Yes.
And that one's in silver plate, probably about 19th century. A little notebook, really. And if we take the pencil out, and then it just
Flips open.
Flips open to show a little notebook.
Yes.
This is before the days of mobile phones.
Definitely.
We've got quite a selection of stuff here. Now, some is a bit more valuable than others.
Yes.
It's the 18 karat gold and the 9 karat that is where your money is, really. I'm going to get some money out and put some money on the table and see where we go. Right, so we're going to go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. Is that a good smile or a bad smile?
No.
Getting warm smile. 220. Shall we bring David in?
Oh, yes, please.
Well, Elizabeth, I've just gone back to my specialist because there's a very nice parcel here. The estimation is £200 to £300. There is £217 worth of gold in the bullion part of the rings. But then you've got other little things. This aid memoir is
beautiful.
fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
You like a bit of dancing, so maybe that's something that you'd now be able to pin onto your lapel.
No, they held them on their little finger.
Well, I realise that, but
Yes.
I'm just bringing it forward now, and you'd have your own aid memoir there.
I could do with some aid, I tell you.
Okay, I think the £300 estimate, 2 to 3, is perhaps a little bit conservative with all the bits and pieces, but I'll leave you with Tracy and see what she puts down.
Yes.
Okay. Right, well, what I'm going to do is, I've got a figure in my mind. I always have a figure in mind when it comes to jewellery. So we've got 220, 240, and let's see.
Oh, no, we don't like that colour. Not unless it's a bigger one.
So 250, that's where I want to be truthful. So you've got to get 300 really to get 260, haven't you?
You wouldn't change that 10 for a...
No, that's where I want to be. They are lovely, they are sweet, but there's damage on this and there's damage on that one. That's why it's a bit conservative.
But the question is, if you go to auction and considering the deduction for commission, this is will only go to a dealer, really.
Yes.
That's sweet, but it's silver plate.
Yes.
And so everyone say, oh, isn't it wonderful? And there's a wonderful story, the age memoir, and but it's only silver plate.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it's still very interesting.
Yeah.
Is that it, Tracy?
It
I mean, is
is,
that the
yeah.
debt, 250?
No, not
Yeah,
even another.
it is. That's where I want
Well,
to.
you might persuade her to put
Change
another
the
10 or
10,
something.
yeah.
Right, well, I'll give you that then. So I'm giving you 260.
Oh, did you see that? She whipped
Right.
that one back
Now,
fast.
for instance, if you went to the sale room and got £300,
Yes.
you would have probably about £50 to take off.
Deduction, yes.
I think there's enough of a parcel there for a dealer to break it up and do quite well with. But if it goes to the auction as one lot,
Yes.
I'm not so sure, you will do
No.
as well.
No.
I would take the money.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So do we have a deal?
Not even that little
No,
10?
that's it.
No?
260. That's what the figure that I had in my mind. So that is where I want to be. So I'd like to try and get 40 quid out of this lot if I can. That's what I'd like to.
Right. not a
Okay.
deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Duke helped you out there, Elizabeth.
Yes, David did come in and help to increase the deal slightly, so I thought this was the best deal. This is the real deal.
Yeah, David's always helpful. He's older than me. I told you, you better cut that out.
Sorry, it's too late now, Tracy. But there is still time for you to bag yourself our huge cash prize, eh, David?
It is £50,000. Lots of people will enter this one, but only one person will win over the next 2 weeks. Is it you? It might be.
This is week 2 of our 2-week prize draw that gives you a chance to win a whopping £50,000. Call 0906 8788 123. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Text WIN to 68123. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Or go to the website. Entries cost £2. Alternatively, post your name and phone number to DRD 0892 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close this Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. Over with Henry is a book that needs no introduction, right, Paul? But do it anyway.
J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. I bought it about 12 years ago for, well, I won't say how much.
Oh, go on. We won't tell.
I paid £45 at a charity shop locally. I'm hoping to get about over £60, really. Anything above that would be a bonus.
This is a book I absolutely adore. Problem is, I'm not a book dealer. You brought me in one of the most iconic books by one of the most iconic authors that I think the world has ever seen, and that is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have to say, I've read this book and The Lord of the Rings countless times.
Little Bird tells me you've got a first edition of Lord of the Rings.
I have. Indeed, I
You
have.
kept it?
Yes. Yeah, brought from a school fete in 1976 for £1.
Really?
All 3 editions with their original dust jackets and each one signed by Tolkien. Everything about his work I just adore. So with this book, how have you come to own it? Is it something that you were given as a child, or?
No, I came across it about 12 years ago in a charity shop.
Okay.
It was in a glass case and I zoomed on it.
Yep, and had to buy it.
Yeah.
The book itself, let's have a look. It's lovely that you've got the original dust jacket to go with it. And the actual artwork on here was done by Tolkien himself.
It was.
And I love the way he's captured that 1930s period of painting. The colours that he's used, the greens and the blues and the blacks, I think just really bring you into the whole mysticism. The cover just takes you straight into the story. So what edition have we got here?
It's the 3rd edition, 4th impression, I think.
3rd edition, 4th impression, 1966. The condition of it is actually very good. It's not in mint condition.
No, there's a slight stain on the dust jacket.
Yeah, but I mean, you find this with these books. It's very rare these days to find them absolutely in tip-top condition.
And the value, I mean, it's 3 or 4 times with the dust jacket.
Yes.
But then without.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would say to you, Paul, Values on books aren't really my thing. I mean, I know this book from my childhood. As to what its true value is, I don't really know. So I will be stabbing in the dark. Why have you decided, after all this time, to get rid of it?
Well, I've already got a first edition second impression, but without the dust jacket. I'm sorry to see it go, but...
You use the money for...
Yeah, I'll reinvest.
Reinvest? What, into more Tolkien?
Probably not.
Probably not. So I need to get some money out. Okay. 10, 20, 30 pounds.
No.
No? I told you I'm stabbing in the dark here. Am I a million miles away?
Let's see.
Let's see. It's very much a gamble with this sort of thing.
Okay.
Because, you know, either I'm going to get a profit at 30 quid
Yeah.
or I might make a loss.
You might keep it.
If it was a first edition, yeah, I'd keep it. At the end of the day, Paul, I am a dealer. I buy and sell. That's what I do. And very rarely these days do I keep anything.
Right.
Yeah, very rarely. 35 quid, and I think that's where I'd want to stop.
But at 35, it doesn't show me a profit.
Okay, and how long ago did you buy it?
About 12 years ago.
About 12 years ago. In this business, they say your first profit is your best profit, but you always have to take a loss sometimes. Paul, I'm going to stick at 35 quid.
Okay.
It's your choice whether or not you want to make a loss or whether you want to gamble and go to auction. What do you want to do?
I'm going to decline your offer and go to auction, I think.
Okay, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm surprised Henry didn't go for it in a bigger way. I thought he'd put his money where his mouth was, but I'm hoping the auction will have a better result.
Hey, I've said from the start, I'm no book dealer. I deal in jewellery.
You are the Lord of the Rings. Well, auctioneer Mark sells everything, and he thinks this isn't one for the specialists.
I don't think that it's something which a book collector may be interested in, as it's not specialised enough, but it's very accessible for your everyday person who wants to buy a little bit of J.R. Tolkien history.
How many books have you got?
6,000. The floorboard's going to give in, I think, one day.
You set the reserve at £60.
Yeah.
On the day, Henry Nichols offered you 35 quid. What did you think about the 35? Seems a bit mean, doesn't it?
Well, it was, considering how enthusiastic he was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you prepared to adjust your reserve?
Of course, I'm not greedy.
OK. Because it's all money that's got to be recycled and put back into books. So let's see what happens here.
This is lot 105, J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, 3rd edition, 4th impression, 1968. If you have one of these as a teenager at university, it's your chance to own another. The interest begins then, straight in at 35, 40, 40 pounds, I'm bid at 40. At 40 at 40. 5, 50, 5, 55 here first at 55. Any advance of 55? Come on, internet, come back in, don't lose it for a bid. At £55 then.
I'm looking at him to try and get his attention.
Doesn't quite make the grade. Come on, internet bidder. £55, and it's going to have to pass. We just need 60. Passing the lot then at 55. Not quite there. Very close.
He's not looking over here. He's put the gavel down. He says the reserve is 60, and it did not sell.
No.
It didn't make the reserve. So
Disappointing.
Disappointing. What's the next step with 6,001 books?
Back on the shelf, I suppose. I'm secretly pleased to take the book home with me because it's my precious.
Still to come. Faye's happy.
When I get a box of jewellery, I love it. It's better than Christmas.
Even Joe's happy.
I like old lily, new lily. I just like a bit of lily.
But what about our sellers?
260 to start.
£60, Jim. You're not going to go up to the pleasure beach and have a ride on the roller coaster?
No, it cost all the money you give me to go on there.
Oh, there you are. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Blackpool.
It's been a busy old day in Blackpool. And next up for Faye is a load of jewellery brought in by Gentle Jim.
I brought some jewellery that was owned by my wife. Most of it was purchased by me and by my wife for me over the course of 64 years. of happy marriage, wonderful marriage. I think she'd be thrilled to bits knowing this was happening. She really would, and so am I.
We're thrilled to have you. What are you looking for today?
It must be a good deal, because my wife would be very upset. And if I don't get a square deal, you have to pay. Is that all right?
Of course it is, Jim. You all right with that, Faye?
This is like Christmas morning. When I get a box of jewellery, I love it. It's better than Christmas. And Easter. What you've brought along today is a lovely collection of stuff, mostly costume jewellery. A couple of items of, it looks like gold.
Gold, yeah. Every one of these trinkets were bought either by myself or my wife, or my wife for me.
So this isn't your personal jewellery collection?
Oh, not my personal one, it's the two of us. You know, there's always two of us, 64 years.
64 years, eh?
Yeah.
So,
No, we married 60 years, just 2 or 3 weeks short. She passed away before our 60th wedding anniversary.
I am sorry.
But we were together for 64 years.
So, Jim, will you marry me? Guess who? Is there a story to this necklace?
There is actually, because I met my wife when she was 18 years old. Herself and her sister were orphans.
Okay.
And I met her once at the skating rink. I tripped her up while we were skating so I could see her.
That's one way to chat to a woman, Jim.
Yeah.
Is this the necklace you gave her to propose to?
About 4 months after I met her, I gave her that when she came home from work one day, and I gave her the box and I wrote that little note in it, "Will you marry me?" I didn't get much wages in them days, and that cost me £half a crown.
Half a crown,
12.5p. Yeah.
Oh.
That was half my wages, more or less.
See, so here, what you've got is a lot of
memories.
A lot of memories.
Yeah.
We've got a treasure chest full of memories here, haven't we? Costume jewellery is quite fashionable at the moment, but it doesn't fetch a great deal of money.
Yeah.
So most of the time with this sort of stuff now, you've got a scrap metal value only.
Yeah.
But this is very lovely. Somebody will wear this at Christmas time, or you know, if they're going to a prom or something, you know. So I can always sell bits like this if they're in nice condition. So why have you brought this along today?
I believe in somebody else getting the benefit.
I couldn't agree more. So if I do buy this, what will you do with the money?
I think I'd go on a world cruise.
Expecting an awful lot of money
Salford with the money you give me. Yeah.
You're not going to go up to the pleasure beach and have a ride on the roller coaster?
No, it cost all the money you give me to go on there.
Talking of money, should we get some money on the table?
If they're the right size, yes.
If they're the right size. Do you know what? Because I love the story. I think you're lovely. I'm going to start off with a £50 note.
Oh, that's lovely.
Are you going to shake my hand now, Jim?
That's a deposit, isn't it?
Oh, OK, I'm not putting another red one down. £60, Jim, come on. What are you saying?
Well, the memory's worth more than that in itself.
But I can't sell sentiment, which is a horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
But it's true. Should we get David?
Oh, yes, please, yeah.
He's coming.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Yeah.
Well, Jim.
Hello, David.
There is an interesting parcel here.
Yeah.
With the exception of 2 gold chains, the rest are costume items.
Yes, I understand that.
At the end of the day, one's got to look at them in the cold light of day, and we've got a dealer here who is pretty knowledgeable, likes her jewellery, and is a good old, I was going to say good old trader, is a good young trader.
Thank you, David.
And we've got 2 estimations, but they both fall in within 50 to 80. The price of the precious metal is 65.
Yeah.
What's on the table?
£60, David.
I think if you get a little bit more money, my honest advice is I would take that. If we went into an auction, I think they will be overlooked purely as costume.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you. Yeah. The ball's in your court now.
Ball's definitely my court, isn't it? Do you know what? There's £80 on the table. You've got my last offer there.
Last offer, definitely.
Definitely my last offer.
Not even car fare home, no.
Come on, can we do a deal? Come on, shake my hand.
Go on then.
Wonderful. Thank you
very much.
so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
And you.
And you.
How's your day been, Jim?
I've loved it. Best day out I've had for many, many years. Been brilliant.
What a lovely, lovely man. I'm so glad he came to my table today.
And you could have some brilliant days out with what we're giving away this week.
A massive £50,000. I'm going to say best of luck to you all. But one of you is going to be very, very lucky.
This is week 2 of our 2-week prize draw that gives you a chance to win a whopping £50,000. Call 0906 8788 123. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Text WIN to 68123. Text cost £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or go to the website. Entries cost £2. Alternatively, post your name and phone number to DRD 0892 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close this Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. Busy as it's been, there's always time for one last deal. So, Sylvia, what have you got to tempt our Joe with?
A selection of items of Lalique. Oh, Lalique. The glass of a girl's dreams. Yes!
I think she's pleased, Sylvia. Well, you've got what she's looking for. What can Joe do for you?
I'm hoping for about 450, 500.
You going to stretch to that, Joe?
Not telling a soul. I'm not giving my trade secrets away to you lot.
Sorry we asked.
How did you come to own the Lalique?
It's just that we did quite a few trips to America, our holidays and that with my husband, and as you do, go out mooching around shops. Yeah,
I like a
mooching. And I really like the Lalique. Now it's just sitting in a cabinet doing nothing.
Well, Lalique is always popular, modern as this is, or the antique stuff, which is what I tend to deal in. French were famous for their glass, and Lalique started to make the decorative glass in about the 1860s. So we've got this lovely knotted heart. Has that got a name?
No, I just know it as a paperweight. Knotted heart, a paperweight.
And then we've got this lovely little amber glass.
Yeah, that was the first piece I bought.
Was it?
That one.
That is a beaut. With the cherubs.
Yeah.
And then you've got these three fellas. Did you buy them all together or?
Bought them all together. It's the first time I've ever seen the three wise monkeys in Lalique.
Right.
I've never seen them before.
I have, when I say I have seen them, but I've never seen a full set of them. I've seen an odd one. This one with the dragon, is there any significance to that?
No, that was the last piece I bought, funny enough. I just sort of caught my eye and I thought, oh, it's unusual.
Is there any damage? I haven't.
None at all.
I didn't.
They've all been kept in boxes. They've all come boxed.
I don't know about the monkeys, but I know that you can still get the heart, and I think you can still get the dragon, can't you?
Yeah, I think they can. I haven't seen any more of them. But having said that, I've not been buying anything for the last 5 years.
You stopped mooching?
Yeah, I think when you're younger, things take your fancy, so you go for it. And then when you get older, you think, oh, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah. So we'll start with a bit of money and see how we go. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 260 to start, 280, 300, 320, 350. Right, well, am I a million miles away?
No, not a million miles, no.
350 quid. £370.
You're not far off now.
Oh, here comes trouble.
Help, help.
I've just gone back to my valuers. They say between 3 to 5 and 4 to 5. So what's on the table, Joe?
370. I have to confess, I am wavering to 400.
Okay.
Because they're nice pieces.
Okay, so you've got £400 worth on offer. Lalique is very desirable. It's not about offer. I think they're worth a bit more. What this would cost you to buy today, I suggest would be a lot more money. Even though it's modern, you know, a small little piece like that. I seem to remember buying my wife a ring, a Lalique ring in that colour, and it was 100 and something quid or something. What's your best bet here? Come on.
Well, 4 was my best bet. I kind of looked at it and went, 100.
Without any hassle.
Well, if she went to auction and it made 5, it would bring it back to about 420.
I think they could make more.
Oh, David.
Get a 50 in, I think.
Get a 50 in and we're done. 450.
Right, well, I'll tell you what I was saying.
No further.
That's probably not bad. They are modern, but they are desirable, and I'm sure lots of people will want to buy those. But it's a good deal, Joe, and I think Joe can still make a profit.
So we've got £450 on the table, Sylvia. What do you think?
Got a deal.
Excellent.
Got what you came for, Sylvia?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I'm really happy with that.
You happy too, Joe?
Joyous. Owning something nice.
All's well that ends well.
We've had a great day here in Blackpool. There's been some amazing deals, and a lot of our sellers are going home with a smile on their face and pocketfuls of money.
Best day out I've had for many, many years. It's been brilliant.
And that's the way it should be. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. I'll see you.